Hello, Charlie TCG here, and welcome back to Looking Ahead, the series where I break down and analyse the meta, what's happening over in Japan, and how it'll impact our one. And today we are taking a break from looking at Worlds testing and talking about how powerful Charizard Dusknoir is, but looking at what are the best decks from Stella Miracle. Japan just had a brand new set out this weekend, and it has completely changed the meta. Terra Pokemons are now actually properly meta, with the return of the likes of Palkia really coming to the forefront from the likes of Terapagos and that glass trumpet, kind of like bringing some new life into some other decks as well. So I'm really excited to be talking about that. So in today's video, we're going to break down exactly what are the best decks from Stella Miracle, look at the Heavenly Kings, see what they kind of think is going to do really well, look at some of the results from the Gym Challenge, how that can be impacted into our set coming out in September time, and talk about some fun meta decks as well as some off-meta decks as well, which I am a huge fan of. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So we're going to start by looking at Heavenly King's list, and this is one of their Cinderace lists. And Cinderace has quite a lot going for it, and it's incredibly powerful, which you can't forget. It has a monstrous attack, which can do 280 damage, I believe, for fire energy and a double colorless, but it can't attack the next turn. That is absolutely insane. Yes, it is stage 2, so you can easily get out turn 2 with the likes of Rare Candy and Arvin, but also you have that new Stella type, sort of that Terra A-Spec card, which can be attached to take 1 less energy. So all of a sudden you could just put a Magma Basement out and you can attacking straight away. Or you can team up with likes of Charizard and have a very good attacking option as well. This here is very, very powerful. Team up with likes of Pidgeot, I think it's a really good contender, so you can constantly kind of move around, make sure you can always attack. What I love is it plays also that new Blair sort of supporter card. This is a brand new card which we're going to see in a lot of decks and likes of any sort of decks which play Terra Pokemon. What it does is if your opponent has 2 prize cards remaining, if you take a knockout one on your side, you take an additional prize card. So effectively, you can make some Pokemon VMAX of cards, or even VMAXs I never hardly played anymore, into 4 prize attack a card, which is insanely powerful. And Cinderace packing a punch within 280 damage is very, very scary. I love also having End here as another attacking option, which is really, really powerful. You have other really good supporting cards as well, like Arvin and Iono, for that destructive capability, but also helping you with that setup. Cinderace could in fact pack a punch, and he's doing pretty okay in some gym challenges, maybe because it's a brand new archetype, but effectively that huge amount of damage capability we can put on pressure turn 2 is very much something you should not be missing. Another one of the big poster cards, obviously, of this set is Terapagos, and Terapagos has a lot going for this one. Similar to the likes of Mega Rayquaza, pretty much doing 240 damage if you have a full bent, which is very, very nice indeed. Now, what other good partners you have? You have likes of Buffalo to have additional more HP. You have that Noctowl if you have a Terra Pokemon in play. So check for 2 trainer cards. It is so powerful, and I absolutely think it's going to be a huge mainstay to this deck. We saw about how powerful likes of Inteleon line 1. Noctowl is a very, very good contender for this one. I love the other sort of additional attackers in this list as well. Having likes of the Blood Moon Luna to really help that other big powerful attacking, but also the likes of the Iron Leaves to really help you with Charizard. One thing that also really does make this deck so powerful is the Underground Zero Labs. That is exactly why you have this have up to 8 Pokemon on the bench, which is really, really strong, exactly why Terapagos is going to be the forefront of the deck. One thing it is really utilizing is that glass trumpet. Make sure you can power up. You can also attack with Blood Luna a lot earlier, which is really good. And not running the DTE means you can rely on having that glass trumpet as your main energy source for the deck. I think this is a very, very powerful deck. Have likes of the Dunsparce as well can easily be searched out from the likes of that Rotom and the Fanta to get all your colorless Pokemon. This is a very, very strong deck and definitely going to be a huge contender to be one of the strongest decks going into the new format. Another really fun one is Galvantula, and this has seen Egg success purely on the basis of this little Joltik. Now, Joltik, you might go, well, we've already been terrorized from likes of Night March. What could make this one even better? Well, for colorless energy, search deck for up to 2 lightning energies and up to 2 grass energies and attach them to your Pokemon in the way you like. Now, this is incredibly scary good. Not only could it be really good in power up the likes of an Iron Hands, or even in GLC, powering up the likes of the likes of that amazing rare Raikou, or even in standard format, like having the necessary energy requirements for the likes of Raging Bolt. You can also power up the likes of a Blissey. Having 300 HP and constantly can move around your energies how you like and do a huge amount of damage is very, very scary. This is one thing I think is a really good partner. One thing of Joltik is it's really, really strong. Now, even having the likes of a Glass Trumpet, because you have the likes of Gavancha and even the Ogerpon as well. You can use that and power up and the energy acceleration ability. So pretty effectively, you don't need to use the Joltik at all, even if you have these amazing attackers in it. Well, Galvantula obviously does the 210 if they have the opponent's active Pokemon is a V or EX, which is really good. Only other attack is also pretty decent as well. This is a very, very good and very scary sort of card. This Joltik can see a lot of contention if you want to need the strongest cards from the set, depending on how powerful it is to set up. One thing I love about this is also plays that Hourglass. One thing that makes the Hourglass so good is that pretty much can be used even after you attack, you can attach an energy from your discard pile to your active Pokemon. And I think this is a very good contender because you power up the Joltik, have a little bit more energy than the Galvantula, and also you can be swinging with it next turn, which is really, really strong. And the last fun deck I want to look at is Lapras. And this Lapras deck is obviously very powerful. Obviously, you have a very interesting attack. The other one, which you can look at the top 20 cards for your deck, we're not focused on that. We're focused on its other attack, which has 40 times the amount of energies attached to this Pokemon. How are we going to energy accelerate to this one? We're using the likes of Metang. And Metang can have a really good energy acceleration. You're already playing a ton of energy in the deck. Chuck it all into Lapras, you can have a big and swing sort of a deck. Obviously, this is purely based on trying to power up a Lapras as quick as possible, trying to get all your Metangs out there so you can get that energy out and play. But if I'm honest with you, this is definitely a very silly rogue deck. Is this competitive? No, but it's fun to utilize to see how the Stella card can really impact into the meta. And we've kind of seen every single one of them be utilized to the best effect. I do think that Terapagos is going to be the strongest one, but Cinderace is definitely having a run for its money for how powerful it can be. You can even have the likes of Rare Candy, Arvin package to get it out at super early. Even have other really powerful stadiums like the Magma Stadium, and also that brand new A-Spec one as well. The Forest could also be utilized in that style of deck. So now let's see exactly how this meta is really affecting the local scene in Japan. Now, we can see here it's like quite a big sort of shift, but also not at the same time. Charizard is back there at number 1. It has not really lost too many things. It's kind of gained a lot of good contingents. It's having that new forest sort of that stadium card, making sure you can save the likes of Rare Candy. You're effectively running 5 Rare Candies, so you can use that to get your Pidgeot. You can use it to get your Dusknoir. You can use it to get a Charizard, and not sacrificing any of your Rare Candies is really strong. Plus, also helps you in the likes of, again, any of these eerie plays or even any decks which like to item lock you, because you can also evolve into your Pidgeot without even relying on the likes of Rare Candy. Another really good card at plays obviously is that new Blair card, which, like I just mentioned, take an additional more prize card if your opponent only has 2 prizes left. If you knock out with one of your Terra Pokemon, it's incredibly powerful. Another card that's risen to rank is the likes of Palkia. Now, Palkia, I have been a huge fan of this one, and obviously since the World Championship era and NAIC, Palkia is one of the strongest decks to come out in a very long time. But it kind of gains a brand new tool. Having likes of Terapagos and also that Stadium card means to have a larger bench size. Palkia is obviously doing very well in Expanded. It's one of my favorite decks to play in Expanded, and now seen from the likes of the Terapagos, even the Glass Trumpet as well, and even now back the add likes of Ogerpon, you can have a huge bench size for Palkia and have a really good strong additional attacking option, which obviously can be utilized and not rely on Palkia to evolve. Now, this is a very, very strong, very, very contentious to be one of the strongest decks in the format right now, but there's some other decks as well which kind of keep it in check. I think there's more very strong Dragon types. Dragonapult and Regidrago are definitely put in the forefront to be we are here to stay. We already know that these 2 decks are one of the strongest decks to play in Japan already. Regidrago has kind of risen from the ranks to now having such good attackers from the likes of Haxorus and also Kirim has really added to the Regidrago sort of plethora. But the likes of Dragonapult has gained 3 really good cards. Obviously, likes of Blair, but that new A-Spec of card, which makes sure you can attack for 1 less energy, and even have likes of Crisper as well for really good energy acceleration. So you have very good things going for the likes of Dragonapult, focusing more on having a Pidgeot and not relying on the likes of the Zartu line or Charizard to really have that energy acceleration. And then the other few decks here as well, Gardevoir and Lugia didn't really gain anything. The likes of Raging Bolt obviously gained that Blair card, which can be partnered with the likes of your Ogerpon, as well as also that Joltik as well. Like I mentioned before, as a really good energy accelerator, so I can't wait to talk about that shortly. And Terapagos definitely flooded into the field as well, being incredibly powerful by having so many utilizations, which I'm really excited to talk about. So this is a little snapshot about how the meta is sort of evolving in Japan. Obviously, it is the first weekend, and obviously a lot of the good players are going to be testing for likes of Worlds, but they want to be testing the new stuff as well, because they've got about a month until the World Championships. This is a really good snapshot as well to really see exactly how the meta is going to evolve for them. So without further ado, let's jump right into see some of these really, really powerful decks and how they've been updated. So let's start off by looking at Terapagos, and this is another different version of what we just saw. The other one was focusing more on Glass Trumpet and having that as energy acceleration. This one is going pure simple, we're just playing DTE, and it has a really good attacking options as well. Obviously, you are purely focusing on your Terapagos as your main attacking, but your support Pokemon, you still have that Buffalon to have that energy, that additional HP. We have a Noctowl for that searching capability, and you also have Bibarel as well for that draw factor. So you're not going to be relying more on your Noctowl to get any things. You can use your Bibarel, try and get your combo pieces going. I love having a Gengar as well, because it's always going to be you have to discard it from your state when the stadium gets discarded. So having Gengar is an instant way to discard, and easy way to Pokemon put straight back into the bench, instantly get into that number 6 spot or 7th is really, really strong. I love Blood Moon Luna as an additional attacking option, and even from the likes of Buffalo with a hard charm attached to this, you have a ton of HP, hitting like a truck, pretty much only two-shotting everything in the metagame, and pretty much searching out for anything you might really require. What I love is that penny loop is you can constantly pretty much pick up your Terapagos and put it back down, and then instantly start attacking with it again with a fresh one with over nearly 300 HP, which is so powerful and so strong. What I also love about this one is playing the high counter boss orders with the likes of the Prime Catcher as well. Pretty much having a ton of gusting effect. That's pretty much how you want to win with Terapagos. You want to go 2-2-2. Obviously the Noctowl really helps streamline that sort of effect as well, and Buffalon with that additional protection as well. Again, the Buffalon affects for all your colorless Pokemon, so it also affects from the likes of your Blood Moon Luna, so it can hit like a truck and also have tank a huge hit as well, by having nearly over 300 HP of nearly everything applied, which is definitely something to be a little bit more considerate about. Now, Terapagos as well can also be used as a toolbox. It's pretty much exhibited by this one here, having a really good range of different attacking options, and again, really utilizing that Glass Trumpet sort of a way. If you have a Terra Pokemon out in play, you've got to have potentially two of the likes of your the Bloodless Luna, the Corsair Ogopon, as well as also the likes of the Terapagos. You can pretty much energy accelerate nearly every single one of these guys, which is really, really good, especially when you have the likes of Energy Switch. One thing which I think is very strong is having the other different range of attacking option. We've also mentioned multiple times before why I think like some Iron Leaves is really good. You have a pretty bad Charizard matchup. It can be very, very scary for this one. And also it's a way for you to move energy straight into this from after the likes of the Glass Trumpet. So I think it's a really good inclusion. I love the Photosyntheticy for draw. I love the corners going up Ogopon. Pretty much goes for anything. You're not scared of Mimikyu. You're not scared of any sort of stall factor. And you can even play stall as well. The Raikou and the Palkia as well are really good attacking options as well. They can obviously hit a huge amount of damage now, purely thanks to likes of the Rule Zero sort of stadium card. And I love the TM Divo as well, having that destructive sort of play as well. Could this be a new way to play Terapagos? More like a sort of like a bench short box, a box of style decks with multiple different attacking options, depending on what matchup you really might just have. You always have full bench as well, so you can easily discard it if your stadium does get bumped. The Luminous Energy as well gives that more flexibility, so you can attack with nearly anything in this deck. Pretty interesting way of how we could play Terapagos. And the last one as well here is just purely focused on having this as an attacking option, but have a really good support network. Again, they're playing likes of the Noctowl, they're having the Buffalon, they're having the Rotom because they're really strong, but also having likes of a Pidgeot. Again, having access to any one card you might potentially need, getting your setup is so strong. We've seen the really value of how Penny is going to be the best way to play this one. Constantly picking it up, putting it back down again, having a fresh nearly over 390 HP is really, really strong. And I think that's exactly where I think the strength of this deck is going to fall. Having a ton of HP, constantly healing as well, and attacking a tons of time. I also love the Dusknoir. Dusknoir is a really good inclusion. You're already playing Buddy Poffin, you're already going to play the likes of Noctowl and Pidgeot, so you're searching out for multiple cards, whilst you're always going to get the pieces you might need to have, and also make sure that you can actually get these big one-hit KOs. The Dusknoir plus the attack from Terapagos, doing over 350 damage, which is pretty good. So I think that's a very, very good inclusion to make this one of the strongest archetypes from a new set. But Terapagos isn't the only deck which is focusing on this one. I think having likes of Palkia is another really good inclusion. Now we can see here, Palkia is kind of shed a little bit away from the limelight. It's definitely been focusing quite a lot on the likes of the Shen Power list. It's kind of like resurging now because people aren't playing Nine Hands, not respecting it as much, so they're kind of going back to the likes of Palkia, having that additional protection because people are scared of likes of Eerie, or it's also another really good attacking option. But now we have Terapagos in play, we can have the Stadium card and pretty much make sure you can have a load of energies at play, load of Pokemon as well, and pretty much getting these big one-hit KOs for Palkia, which is exactly what this deck has been missing for so long. What I love about the Glass Trumpet in this deck, making sure you can pretty much power up the likes of Radiant Greninja as early as turn 1, which is an amazing attacking option as well. If you're going second as well, they might not even expect this one. You get a power up a Greninja out and play, you play 2 Glass Trumpets, you play an Energy Switch, or even attachment as well, or 1 Glass Trumpet, attachment, Energy Switch, you're attacking with Radiant Greninja. It's a super scary deck. I love how streamlined this deck feels. You even are playing the Rotom War, the fan, purely just to get your Hutus out, but because you're going to have a loads of bench sides, it's not too bad as well. Palkia and Inteleon was one of the strongest decks, so why can't Palkia Noctowl be even stronger as well? So many things for this deck I absolutely love. I love the counter catch, I love the prime catch, I love the likes of the oh, I'm blanking on his name again, the cancelling clone. There are so many good things about why I think this could be the return of Palkia. We could see a lot of Palkia love in next format, which I'm really excited to see. And again, we can kind of see this sort of another build of how to play it. Still focusing on that sort of build as well, but kind of going away from like some Glass Trumpet, but also having the Ogerpon as well. So you have an additional Terra Pokemon to have that utilizing on your the larger bench. I am a huge fan of Palkia going into this new format. I think potentially this could be another talks for the best second format. We're seeing this love for having a bench size as well. So could we see more returns of like Clap Stadium being in a lot more decks purely to counter the likes of Terapagos and Palkia? Could we see a lot more people worried about overbenching because they're scared about a really big powerful Terapagos or Palkia play for their future sort of events? Again, something to really consider about as well. If these two cards have really taken the meta by storm, and for good reasons why, because they are incredibly amazing and actually really healthy, I think, for the meta. Now let's look at some other really interesting ways to play it. Charizard. Now, Charizard is seeing quite a lot of love, obviously. I've talked about it a lot in my mastering videos. So again, thank you so much for support. Nearly at 1,000 views, or potentially 1,000 views by the time of the recording, which is really grateful, and thank you so much. Now, this is a very interesting Charizard because it only has added 2 new cards. The Forest Aspec as well as also Blair. Obviously, I mentioned Blair so much about how powerful it really is to Charizard and also the likes of that forest. Like I said, it's basically additional rare candy. And as you can see here, they are playing less rare candies in this one purely on that build. Granted, I definitely would not go down that likes of only playing 2 rare candies and really focusing on that stadium, especially with the likes of multiple stadium bounds and even likes of Lost Vacuum nearly in every other deck. I would effectively play a lot more still with that 4 rare candies. So again, something to be considered about as well. But again, it's early testing. Japan is really trying to figure out exactly what is the best way to go with this one. Morty again wouldn't really play this one, but Night Retro, making sure you're utilizing kind of getting energy card or effectively your Dusknoir is very powerful. So I effectively to do some little bit change this one, add additional more rare candies, potentially move likes of Morty as well, and even likes of a Iono as well. Purely on the basis you want to really sacrifice, you want to have as much resources as possible. Now, DTE is being seen in quite a few decks because you can attack with likes of Pidgeot. There's also an additional way for you to attack with likes of Radiant Charizard. This list doesn't actually run this one, but it's an additional way for it as well. I really like that in this style of deck. So again, something to consider about. The Charizard list may not be the strongest one to show, but again, it's really outlining how powerful these 2 new cards really added to Charizard, making the list change quite a lot. Now let's talk about Dragonapult. And this is a card which a lot of people have been hoping to get a lot of success, and it really has in the latest set. Now this one focuses on having Blair and that new A-Spec, the Terra Shards, which I think is a very good inclusion for the deck. Still having the likes of Xatu is still not bad for energy acceleration. I still think likes of Crispin is going to potentially be stronger. Now again, if you're playing likes of Crispin, you want to have inbuilt draw or having the Pidgeot so you can constantly find ways to search for this deck. Search for decks to try and get these cards out. I do think that Dragonapult is going to be shown a lot of a stronger light because it's very powerful, especially with that sort of attack as well. Even I think could have a good Terapagos having a lot of HP. Terapagos will need to play ways to try and get the additional damage out, or potentially likes of Dusknoir as the best way to counter. This is the build which I'm really liking for Dragonapult, which I've seen online. Again, we're seeing it play a lot of new stuff around this one. It goes out Dusknoir, so you can get additional damage counters on this one to really fuel its other attack. We've seen where likes to play Crispin, it also plays that new A-Spec. Again, reducing the energy costs or chucking some energies out and play is really strong. Playing the Blair as well, so potentially taking an additional more price card, you can instantly make all of a sudden that Luminion play turn 1 and getting rid of a Pidgey on the bench. All of a sudden it goes from 3 prizes to 4. That is very scary against any other deck as well. Just taking 4 prizes in a turn, effectively even more with TM Devo player, or even just spreading some damage counters. It's really scary. I like the Noctowl as well, because you might always have some Terra Pokemon out and play, because you will have that Dragonapult as well. So again, it makes a lot of sense. The Rotom fan as well, searching out your Pidgeys, again, really strong. There is a lot going on in this deck, and potentially that could be a bad thing going for this one. But if you have the likes of Pidgeot, you have the likes of Dusknoir to do additional more damage, or search out for any card, Dragonapult can be pretty much left unchecked, unstoppable. We have finally got to see the rise and love for Dragonapult, which we've kind of been hoping for so long. And effectively, I think it could be unlocked from the likes of Stella Miracle. Now let's look at Raging Bolt. And yeah, like I mentioned before, there are some fun cards. Playing a 1/1 like some Galvantula, having that Joltik out and play, just floating the board of 4 energies at the end of your turn. You're already very, very aggressive with so many energies out and play for likes of Ogerpon, Sada, Attachment turn. All of a sudden, just chuck this Joltik out after your first turn. Yes, you believe in one prize in the active spot. Again, making this deck incredibly more viable, force your opponents to take 7 prizes, which is really, really good. You also chuck ending your turn with 4 more additional energies out and play. So effectively, that's maybe 1 less Sardi you might need to have. That's 1 less energy retrieval you need to get energies out and play. So again, this makes this deck so much more streamlined. Purely on the basis, you're also getting rid of 4 energies out in decks. So you're top decking much more vital cards. You're digging your deck even further as well. So I really, really like how Raging Bolt can effectively be completely changed from having the likes of a Galvantula and a Joltik line. Plus also, Galvantula has a pretty good attack, like I mentioned before. Doing 220, sorry, against your opponent's active Pokemon, if it's V or EX, is very, very good. Now let's look at some fun decks as well. 2 other decks which I think could potentially see quite a bit of play. Now this one is the return of Zoroark. Like I mentioned before, if Palkia does really well, why can't Zoroark do well? Now, again, this is really focusing on that similar principle. As it is a colorless Pokemon, you can Glass Trumpet even Energy Accelerate to this one, so you don't try and DT and reducing your damage output. So I think this is incredibly strong. As you're going to have a larger bench side, you can have more Gengars in this deck. To really emphasize, you can just put them straight back into play and spread around all your damage counters. Playing the Noctowl as well, you're searching deck nearly every single one of your item cards you might need to have. The energy switch, so you can just move them around. It is so powerful. Plus, because you're a color set, you're playing multiple different energies, you can obviously energy accelerate to the likes of your Terapagos, or even sometimes even attack with the likes of Gengar. There is a lot of things going for someone. I think Zoroark, again, could be a very, very scary threat going into this new metagame. Yes, it's quite a fun deck. Yes, it's quite gimmicky about how you might need to get stuff out. But also you have Terapagos as another attacking option. Hitting 210 multiple times is really good. Yes, it becomes a little bit of a worse attacker because you don't have the likes of the support which mostly Terapagos has with the Bravery Charm, as well as also the Penny Loop. But again, I think this is a really good way to kind of play Zoroark in the future deck. And also let's look at Hydreigon. This is a very, very fun and silly deck, I feel like. Just spreading a ton of energies around the field and just attacking and hitting these huge numbers. Ogerpon becomes incredibly powerful. Hydreigon becomes incredibly powerful to just have a huge amount of HP, and you have an amazing Charizard matchup. So this deck will 100% see play. Again, you're seeing likes of Blair as well, because you can use Ogerpon in the late game to clear out and potentially take 3 or 4 prize cards, depending on how powerful what Pokemon you knock out. So again, this is a fun deck as well. It's going to be a very, very easy deck to pilot as well. So I'm really excited to see this deck kind of pop up in locals. So looking ahead, I think this is a very, very exciting set and really has impacted the meta a lot more than like Shrouded Fable really did. We'll more Terra Pokemon to see a lot more play. Terapagos is already entered the fray, incredibly powerful, and it's really boosted the likes of Dragonapult and Zard to become one of the strongest decks right now in the format. But also, a new deck has kind of arisen. I would say Palkia has become much, much stronger. It's a return of potentially Palkia Inteleon. Could this be a factor away? Now we're adding like some more Iron Hands in the deck. I'm a big, big fan about where this meta is starting to evolve. I'm really excited to be covering this on the channel in the next few weeks. Obviously, we're still going to be talking about Worlds. We're still going to be thinking about what the best decks will be playing, which I'm going to be releasing most likely end of this week or start of next week. But I'm really excited about what Stella Miracle really has to offer for this format. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. What's your favorite Terra Pokemon, and what card do you really want to see have a shiny moment? For me personally, I think Joltik is one of the strongest cards right now. 30 HP monster ramping around the format again is absolutely incredible. So hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys later. Bye for now.